I can probably commentate that would help you the most. Going first and open probably the worst starter ever. So let me pause this real quick. Basically, every Unchained line required. Actually, there's worse starters. Obviously, I can open up 5 hand traps, but regardless, every play line requires 2 cards essentially, except for one. The one card starter, which is Tour Guide from the Underworld. But I'm going to assume that you do not own 3 of those, and you don't want to craft 3 of those right off the bat. If you do, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. But if not, let's just assume this is what you have. It's just two dudes. This can be done with basically any normal summonable dude, and Reika or Sarama, or any normal summonable dude, and I'm sorry, Reika, Sarama, and Aruha. I guess it's all the small guys. Yeah. Any name plus the Shavara, which is the big 6-drop. Any name not named that's not the other 6-drop, which is Shiyama, something like that. And then any trap, Shavara, and any trap plus Reika. Actually, that said, any trap plus this guy will also do it too. So basically, you need 2 cards, and ideally you want a trap and a guy that can pop a thing. So the DDD cards count as a additional name, essentially. So you can use the contract to search for the Vice King Rex, and then Pendulum summon the Rex, pop the spell to summon the Rex, overlay for Machinex, which is this guy over here. Where is he? Machinex. And then from there, you just do your thing. Let's see, what else is there? What else is going on with this hand? Let's go just play it off. So anyway, we're doing the worst of the combos, this is not that bad. Honestly, this guy's fairly good. It does the job. Thankfully, I have the Thoughtseize for this fucking effect, so basically he just ripped out a card out of my hand. But it wasn't necessary, so that's fine. Alright, we'll play like this game that didn't matter. Like Maxi didn't matter. The first thing you always go into after you pop your first thing is you go for your Sharvara, sorry. And then you take the 2 monsters you have now. So you'll have 1 monster from this that you use to normal summon, and then your Shavara, that's your 2 monsters to go into your Unchained Yama. And this will trigger a couple effects in a second. If this was Regulex, it would still be fine because this is a fiend, and 2 fiends make this guy. So essentially every version of the combo kind of starts this way. So you do your name that you can pop, your popper, and then go into Yama by summoning the Shavara. Now, the only combo that doesn't start like this is the 1-card combo with Tour Guide, which we'll go into in a second. It just goes straight into this. That one just goes straight into Yama. Because you have 2 fiends, and then Phoenix Rhino Warrior sends Shavara. So you basically end on the same quote-unquote board. So, what you're about to see here in a second. I'm going to set the name that I haven't used, and then search for Aruha. This is where I get drooled. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is the only search I do in this deck. I could do more searches technically if I did the other route, the Vice King Rex route, which obviously is worse. But again, you can still play through that because you just use Vice King Rex to do other versions of the combo rather than going this route. Rather than searching for this, you search for something else to continue your plays through special summons alone. And you end on a weaker board, but it still plays through Droll. So this is our only search. So Droll literally doesn't do anything. He just Thoughtseize himself for fun. This one goes for the other name you have not used. If you use this guy in the beginning, you go for this one. If you use this one in the beginning, you go for this one. Basically, these two are mirrors of each other. This one's obviously the better one because it gets you your trap. Actually, made a mistake. This guy is unusable as a starter, which is why you only want to run one of them now. So you have to actually use him as a pop target instead of a starter. He can't pop anything unless there's something already in the graveyard, which unfortunately in this case there is not. So I just realized that you need to have a target to reset. So that's the only name that's not a starter. That goes into Rage, and then you kind of missed it there, but I summoned. Where did I summon it? I summoned this guy off of the pop of the Aruha, and then use that the Shiyama and the Yama to go into Rage. And I can use that guy's effect from the graveyard to pop the last name to summon the other 6 in the deck to make Caesar. So this is your typical board state here. Some amount of hand traps, the pop, 2 summon negates, and a link away. Now I'm gonna play this as best I can, but let me Thoughtseize him first. Okay, perfect. We got that done. I think I play through this as best I can, considering what happens here. Man just opens the fucking removal spell. It's a 1-of. Whatever. I'll set the other trap, which actually becomes relevant. So we'll look at that in a second. And he opens Pyro. Opens Bonfire, sorry. So Ash. I'm going to go ahead and pop this now. I'm basically trying to keep stuff off the board. Keeping material off the board any way I can. This is the one time where I make a mistake. And I should have done something differently, but honestly, it doesn't matter. The final result's the same. So I summoned this guy. I should have used his ability to pop this right here now. And then force that to go into the back row. I know this is coming up anyway. But at least I would be at least maintain this effect. But it doesn't matter. We'll see why that doesn't matter. I use that to pop that thing and add that. That's just so I can have follow-up, basically. And then I'm going to link away his guy. I'm just going to link away into the worst one. Obviously, this doesn't do anything right now. I was hoping the chain links would actually resolve in a way that made more sense, that would be better for me, but apparently his goes first, obviously. But inactive, active, I guess. I don't know. And he does what he can. He summoned the other guy. Obviously, he can't use the effect. I think he should have gone... In that case, I think he should have used one of the effects to... One of those effects here to summon the Flamberge. Pushed, I don't know, one of these to the back row and then crashed over the other one. Because he could have done the same play. Like, what he could have easily done, because this has already done its effect. This has already been special summoned once. It can only be special summoned once per turn. That's the first line of text it says. So what he could have done with Flamberg is push this to the back row, crash this, summon 2 of the guys, and then done this play again. And then he'd have been in a much better situation. I don't think it would have mattered, but he would have at least had interaction on my turn. But regardless, he did do it, so. Instead, he does this instead, which I don't like this card. I don't think this card is that good. I think this card is not as good as people think it is. At least for this situation here. Like, what is this doing for you? You get to remove both one of my creatures. Versus if you use Flamberg, you could have removed both of them technically. You could have pushed that to the back row and you could have crashed over the other one if you didn't want to lose your guy. Whatever. I think what he did there is wrong. But regardless, I have this right here, which then searches for the whole Machinex combo. And then he can either, if he had Flamberg in play, or if he had this thing in play, Amblo Whale, then he has to pop with Promethean. But since he didn't end on a fire, I can just go into this, pop his back row, and then continue my plays. Like, force the back row to be something, and then if it's not, then I just win. But anyway, he realizes that at the end here, that he has no way to stop this. So that's the best I can do as far as like a starter. All the other starters are basically the same thing. If you have a Shyvana in hand and a trap, that does the whole thing. That's the whole combo. The only one that doesn't do it is, when you get to the actual deck itself, the only names that don't do it by themselves are this plus a trap. That's the only thing that does not start the combo. Sarama, which is why we used to play 3 of Sarama, 3 Reika, 3 of the Aruha, and I think 2 and 1. Some combination of that. But this is just an inferior starter. I mean, that's all there is to it. The other 2 are better starters. If for some reason you don't have this card, or you don't want to make the Machinex, I mean, right now I'm a 40 card deck, so I would remove 1, 2, 3, 4 cards out of your deck, add 2 of this and 1 of this. That'd probably be good enough. There's probably other things in here you can. Yeah, I actually only have 3 of them here. 1, 2, 3. So it'd be 3 cards for me. But I would add 2 and 1 of that, and that'd be enough right there. And then you might need to. That'll bring you up to 41. If you want to just stay with one of these, or just do one of each of them, that would be fine also. If you do not have any tour guides is a little harder to replace. You can just replace it with consistency cards, to be honest. Like, you got multiple abominations. Honestly, I would just craft this card, but this one's probably more useful than anything else. But you can just use multiple. You can use any consistency cards. So you have Small Worlds will work, because I think all of our guys are 3s, but they're all 15, so you can't use Small World. Just kidding. Let's see. We're down to 1 pot, so we can use 1 pot of Prosperity and then 1 pot of Extravagance, and you maximize on your extra guys. However many you have, just put them all in there and call it a day. You can put stuff, just removal stuff, like going second stuff, like Herald of the Abyss. You can throw that in there. You can throw, Dark Rulers. You can throw Lightning Storms. I mean, the world is literally your oyster at that point. You can throw any other card in here. You can throw. I'm not playing Cross-Up, but you can throw Cross-Up Designator, and you can throw Nibiru in here. Essentially, it doesn't matter at that point. This is just a flexible card. So it's a pop on one of your own guys, or it's a pop on their thing. That's why it's there. That's the only reason it exists. Plus, you already make Wave King Caesar, which searches for Dark Contracts, so it's a way to have follow-up even after they out your one guy, which is kind of what I was showing you, the whole effect there. So that's why this card's good. That's why it's in here. It's, at worst, it's a starter. At best, it's a removal spell after they out your shit. So as far as like big dogs, Disaster is fine. Disaster is better going second than going first than this guy. But basically, through your combo, you can search for this guy, link one of their monsters away with your guy, and go right into a rage immediately. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes you're better off going the next step up. But either way, this is just a link someone on your turn. I don't think it's necessary, so I'm going to drop it down so I can go to just a nice clean 40. I found it actually kind of being bricky a little bit at the time, so this is fine right here. This whole lineup here is good. I'd almost drop this too, just to get more of these guys, but honestly, it doesn't matter. But that's the other thing is like you could always replace the cards you're missing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the main deck with one more there. Let's see, related cards. Let's see. You can replace it like with the one guy I removed. I mean, there's so many cards you can replace in this in the extra deck here, or in the main deck. So don't think these are necessary because every combination of those two cards, of two of those cards, will get you there. The only combination that doesn't get you there is this guy, and like I said, a trap. So a trap. Abomination is also an annoying card. Abomination's Prison cannot be set to the back row with this effect here. You can only target Unchained cards. So if your starter is specifically this Unchained card, and I think it's him, you can't just go search for your Unchained card, search for any pop the monster. It can get there. This doesn't actually let you put the card back into play. So just be careful with that card. This card is an Unchained card, so this can be done that way. So otherwise, I think everything else, this deck is pretty nice. I'm going to go back down. I don't like the one card there, and I think even though it is a starter, I'm only going to run this down at 2. I don't necessarily want this all the time. I'd rather search this and do it on my follow-up, or have it as an option sometimes. I mean, theoretically, I could just drop this and put another one in there. It doesn't matter. I'd rather have the names, though. Hopefully that was at least a little bit helpful and a little coherent. Like I said, the only thing I would say that's different from what I showed you is the 1-card combo, which is just Tour Guide, summon that, and then make Yama immediately. Yama will trigger. Fiendish Rhino will trigger. Fiendish Rhino will send Shavara. And Yama will search Aruha. And you're basically in the same situation you were before, which is Yama plus a trap in the back row. And that's it. Hopefully this helped.